Hey, y'all, real quick. I just wanted to come on and encourage you. Listen, I want you to understand that your voice has power. Remember, death and life is in the power of the tongue. And a lot of times, the enemy will use people that are closest to you or circumstances or things that are happening around you to get you to close your mouth and not speak positive and not speak life to yourself. Listen, do not allow anything to silence you from speaking out what God has told you that he's going to promise you he's going to do, and or shut you down completely from speaking in general what God is telling you to say. Your mouth is an instrument that is very powerful, and your mouth can make or break a situation for you. That's why we have to be ever so careful on what we say out of our mouth. But the thing is, like I said before, death and life is in the power of the tongue, but don't let anything, anyone, or any circumstance steal your voice and silence you. That is the enemy's number one goal, is to make you stay silent so that you don't acknowledge God, you don't give God the praise, or you don't say what God told you to do, or you completely silence yourself knowing that you are gifted to use your voice for the purpose of God's glory, for the purpose of God's word to be spoken, things of that nature. And sometimes I don't want to say this, but sometimes circumstances, life, whatever's happening that is being thrown at us, of course, by the enemy, right? Because the enemy and his imps are always working to try to get you to digress and go backwards where you have gone forward, right? And this is the thing, especially if you are a mouthpiece of God, or someone who walks in the giftings of prophecy, or someone who is an apostle, pastor, teacher. You use your voice, or an evangelist, for example, you use your voice for the purpose of God's glory. The enemy is going to do everything he can to try to silence you. I came to come to encourage you. Don't allow that to happen. Do not allow yourself to get into a place where you are completely silenced, or your voice is completely silenced, either by you not doing what God told you to do, or you giving in to the antics of the enemy, or the attacks of the enemy, and or allowing yourself to fall into a place of quote unquote depression, which we don't have no place going in anywhere near depression, but it's a thing. People deal with it. I acknowledge the fact that some people deal with that, right? And the one thing that we need to do when we find ourselves in these places where our voice is silenced, and we seem to not be able to express what God is telling us to do or say, or express even a praise to God, this is the time when you have to push through. And I know you're probably like, I'm so sick of people telling me to push through, but it's the truth. When you begin to push through and push past the moment that you're feeling that you just cannot speak, or you're feeling blocked from being able to speak, when you begin to push through and continue to do what God told you to do, that's where you will begin to start gaining strength and gaining your joy back and things of that nature, right? Because when you're doing what God told you to do, then that's where you find your joy and your peace. There's more joy and peace in doing what God told you to do. Stop allowing yourself to be silenced by people, circumstances, situations that might come up. Don't allow yourself to be silenced anymore. It's time for you to open your mouth and use your voice the way God told you to do, and the way God told you to use it. Y'all hear me? Okay. I thought I'd come on and share that with you real quick, because I feel like some of you have allowed yourself to be silenced. And then when you allowed yourself to be silenced, then you begin to digress and minimize yourself for the sake of others, or the sake of whatever circumstance arose. But you need to stand in your power and who God called you to be. You hear me? All right, now you go out and make it a great day on purpose, and don't you go messing up nobody else's day, but stop allowing yourself to be silenced. Take the guard off of your mouth and allow God to use you the way that He has called you to be used. Okay? All right. Okay, I love y'all. Y'all know I love you. Now you go out and make it a great day on purpose, and don't you go mess up nobody else's day, okay? All right, I love y'all. All right, bye.